come here early? Hi, every pony. I'm out here in the ruins in the Everfree Forest and scared out of my mind. I decided to start doing my review on Friendship is Magic Part 2 here because doing these really helped to calm me down. First, I want to say I will be skipping straight to the library scene. We'll go back, don't worry. Spike gets put to bed, and as mildly hysterical Twilight searches the library, the other 5 main ponies come trotting in. Rainbow Dash attacks the strange antisocial unicorn, and Applejack shows her leadership skills again by taking charge and talking to Twilight. Yay! Actual character trait. Anyways, Pinkie shows off an ability to find knowledge that Twilight should be extremely envious of. We then find out what the 5 elements of harmony are, and that they can be found out in the Everfree Forest. This horrible, creepy place that I'm surprised hasn't killed me. Really quick before we head in, 2 things. First, Twilight's first step to becoming part of a group of friends. She reacts in utter disgust when Applejack uses friendship as a reason to put their lives at risk. 2. Fluttershy is smiling as they walk into the forest. Her willingness to do this is strange, unless you consider her actually knowing what eternal night would mean for an ecosystem, aka total destruction. This would explain how she musters the willpower to fight off her shyness for the entire episode. First of the second 5 event scenes is the cliff scene. We see a wisp of darkness invade the earth, and then Rainbow begins trying to scare the other ponies, working rather well actually. Right as she finishes talking though, the cliff gives way. All this actually helped save the sequence's beginning because the cliff caught me off guard, and I found myself feeling a mix of emotions. That gets a +1 investment modifier. Unfortunately, this is also Applejack's loyalty scene. This is horrendous. In both of these episodes, the only character traits that carry on for Applejack are her leadership and that she is good at working on a farm. Another big problem with this is that she herself would hate it if some pony told her to simply trust what she's saying. She would want an explanation. Honesty does fit the character, however, that is established for her later, so I don't hate this as much as I could. This scene gets 4th place because of believable manipulation by Nightmare Moon and the setup to the event. Moving on, we face the Manticore, a big scary monster that each pony has a different strategy of taking on. Wait a second, why didn't the uber smart Twilight, or the obvious leader of the other 5 Applejack, try to coordinate their efforts? Instead, all we get is Applejack tagging out, which is kind of funny. Oh, and am I the only one who noticed that Rarity's hair after the Manticore roars at her was the same as Twilight's after the rain below dry? Maybe not. Finally, Fluttershy moves in and once again shows that she prefers animals to ponies. She does try to calm it though, and defeating something through understanding is awesome. It is also an extremely kind act. Between an extremely short moment and how much this did fit for what we knew of Fluttershy, makes this number 3 of the events. Like last time, it's nothing spectacular, but nothing terrible either, except maybe the really stupid action of Nightmare Moons. The next event is the dark creeping in and scary faces appearing in the night. First off, I like going for walks at night, when no pony else is around. I have found myself jumping at shadows though on these walks, and feeling deep dread and fear. Pinkie swoops in though, and starts giggling to help the other 5. Seems silly, but this is beautiful. This is laughter and Pinkie's role in the world. It helps every pony to see the good in the world and have hope. This is why I want to apologize for my rage at Pinkie in my previous review. Pinkie goes to extreme levels, whether a party or a song, to make every pony happy, or in the previous episode's case, make them feel included. Pinkie's actions can seem ridiculous in the immediate viewing, but the intent is good, and she doesn't do this for herself at all. She saw every pony else scared, and came up with the best way to relieve it possible. This is very easily the top event because of how beautifully they illustrate what Pinkie's role is, rather than just making her seem crazy like the previous episode. Hey, that's 2 good events in a row. How bad could the next event be? Oh, that's right, the fashion-conscious sea serpent who lives in the Everfree Forest. Half his mustache is gone, and his fit is keeping every pony from crossing a river. So Rarity finishes the scene by cutting off her tail and using it to fix the serpent's moustache. By the way, her tail takes a lot of abuse this episode, because earlier, Fluttershy grabs her by it during the cliff scene. Back to the review. Rarity is silly in this scene, but unfortunately, this whole scene is too damn silly. The sea serpent's entire character is ludicrous, especially since nothing else in the Everfree Forest, with the exception of Zecora, is tame, mindful, or friendly. This whole scene reeks of opportunistic writing and no forward thought. This is easily my least favorite event of the episode for the pure silliness and a character that has no right being there. Last event and last pony again. Rainbow Dash's event has her crossing a gorge to reattach a bridge. On the other side, she encounters 3 mysterious flyers. The Shadow Bolts, a nighttime counterpoint to the Wonderbolts, the ponies Rainbow Dash adores. They want her to be their leader, a second episode in which her ego is used to manipulate her. The catch? She must leave her friends behind. She says no, showing off the element of loyalty and restating the line from the previous episode, I wouldn't leave Ponyville hanging, except referring to her friends here. Now, Twilight had seen the nice part of having friends after Flutter's event, and she showed obvious concern for Rarity after she cut off her tail. She takes this line thrown out by Rainbow Dash and moves on with things happily. The program is working. She's becoming social. Now, as Twilight attempts to activate the elements by force, Nightmare Moon shows up. Nightmare is a generic villain who specializes in illusion. I'm curious though as to what her plan was here. Every event was aimed at slowing them down more than stopping them for good, except for Applejack's because it could have killed a pony, and Rainbow Dash's because without Rainbow, the elements wouldn't have worked. The other events could have been gone around. Lastly, at the beginning of the episode, she strikes down the guards with lightning. With her powers, it's sad what she did, but I chalk that up to being the pilot episodes, and would love to see the animation team do it now after seeing the challenges at the Crystal Empire. Twilight charges an incredulous Nightmare Moon, and teleports herself in between the elements. Wait! Later she does this on accident in Ticketmaster. Maybe instead of knowing this spell prior to now, she taught it to herself after Nightmare Moon teleported the two of them into the second part of the castle. Just a thought. After failing to cause a spark a second time though, Nightmare develops a case of premature victory syndrome. This is when a villain, especially My Little Pony villains, assume they have won without killing every last one of the main cast. Instead, they gloat with an ace in the hole just around the corner. The other 5 show up, and hearing their voices gives Twilight the spark she needed. The spark of friendship. Now to get into the elements of NO! I will wait for them. Later, my thoughts. Later. The destroyed elements are fixed by Twilight, recapping what the audience knew from the initial pan and zoom over the main 5 at the beginning of the episode or after the events of the episode. And friendship lets her gain a crown symbolizing magic, which is friendship, because friendship is magic. I'm sorry, but I do like giving significance to a title, so awesome. The episode then has Celestia's return, a not-so-minor trolling of the episodes, Luna's identity being revealed, and oh my Celestia, she's adorable! I know that's a normal reaction. Leave me alone. Twilight then begs Celestia to let her stay and gets permission to say friendship and let the series run. The moral, by the way, is friendship is a good thing, and who could ever disagree with something like that? Finally, we have fanboying. This time I will have to complain about the horrific foreshadowing in this episode. That initial pan zoom was terrible and makes the audience play the waiting game. On top of that is the fact that after each event, each pony or one of her friends says the element in reference to what they just did. It's terrible. If you forget that though, you can really enjoy this episode and what they do with most of the characters. Oh man! It's past midnight and no pony ever showed up. I thought you were going to fix my problem. Wait a second. I finally have a background. Well, it wasn't the problem I thought it would be, but I guess this isn't so bad. Before I sign off though, I would like to apologize for the size of my last video. I wanted to try 2 ways of reviewing, and the earlier method resulted in bad voice recording and a cumulative 12 hours of audio editing and video making. This is a much neater and easier method, and you can look forward to more videos soon. This is Linespace. Getting out of this place!